Hello, sports fans. Welcome to Thunder Weekly. I'm Rick Heath. With me, Al Eschbach. And Al, we're at one of our favorite locations, Louie's, but this one's in Midtown on Walker, just north of the St. Anthony's Hospital. A great place to come for and after Thunder game.
People have a good time. You can look around. People having a great time out here. Drink, food. It's great.
It's a great place. They got a great special. They got new flatbread sandwiches, blackened chicken, chicken Florentine roast beef, or chicken salad, new flatbread sandwich. You got to come out. They also have PBR specials in a shot and 250 beer specials while supplies last here at Louie's at Midtown. Al, I don't know that there's ever been a more remarkable run for the Thunder, maybe even going back to the Sonic franchise, than they've had in the last 10 games.
Well, I mean, we look at it. They were going to put, the schedule. Look, can you survive it?
Yes.
Not can you win every game. Can you survive it? And it is totally remarkable what they do. Without Westbrook, they go to Boston without Durant and Westbrook and win by 19. Ridiculous.
Yeah, they are on such a run. And even as great as Kevin Durant has been, he has been above that now with this run of 10 straight games and 30 points.
Yeah, he makes things look so easy. We see him so much, we take him for granted. I'm sure other people look at him and don't see him all the time and go, wow, wow, wow.
Well, yeah, I mean, and we get to see him all the time, and yet he's still amazing us, with what he's doing, the way he's scoring, the different ways. I mean, he's always been a cold-blooded shooter, but now he's driving. He's got the step-back little, Dirk Nowitzki type shot. He's got the back to the basket game. He's just doing so much, and with such effortlessness.
Well, and he's so clutch, too. In some of those games where they needed threes late in the game, he just takes over.
Yeah, and you know it when he dribbles out there and just gauges his man and goes up, there's nobody can block it. He gets off a clean shot when he wants to.
Teams got to start figuring out and double teaming him.
Yeah, they're not going to let him do that at the end of the game.
Especially if Westbrook's not playing.
Especially with Westbrook. And all this has been done without Westbrook. So, hey, Al Eschbach, Rick Heath at Louie's on Walker in Midtown. We'll be back with more on Thunder Weekly right after this. And welcome back to Thunder Weekly. Rick Heath, Al Eschbach from Louie's at Midtown on Walker, just north of St. Anthony's Hospital, where they got great food, great drink specials, $5 PBRs plus a shot, $3 shot list, and $2.50 beer of the month, which happens to be a Boulevard Kansas City Pilsner. And great food specials all time, featuring new flatbread sandwiches here at Louie's. Al, we were talking about as good as KD was playing, but he is doing such an all-around game. We're talking scoring, but he's averaging almost 7 assists a game and double digits in rebounds.
Yeah, now he turns a couple games. He turned it over way too much, but we'll give him that.
That's a small little price to pay.
And again, it shows you he doesn't play against Boston, Westbrook, and they stole it. They go, okay, Katie, you sit out, okay? What this whole thing showed me, trade deadline's coming, you don't make one move.
Well, see, that's the thing about it. They've got, Thabo Sefolosha is going to be a free agent. Sam Presti in the past has not held on to a player and got nothing back. He may this year.
Oh, he has to. You can't let Thabo go. You can win a championship. You don't break up the chemistry here.
Well, okay. Then the second thing is you've got Perkins, Kendrick Perkins, has been catching a lot of flack, rightfully so. But lately he showed glimpses of playing a little better.
Yeah, I mean, he's still one of the worst centers in the league, but
but he's not as bad as he was.
Yeah, I mean, at least he's rebounding, getting some rebounding and things. So, I think right now, trade deadline comes, you don't do anything because who's going to come in and play? Because Westbrook's coming, that means Reggie Jackson goes to the bench. Then you got Lamb, you got Collison, you got Adams, you got Fisher.
Yeah, you got a great. I've never seen top to bottom this Thunder roster be so loaded with talent.
And I guess that's what Matt Pino said. He's saying that he doesn't know if he's been with an NBA team in 24 years from top to bottom that's so talented.
Well, and that says a lot from Matt Pinto. He's been in the league.
You're right.
He's seen a lot of things.
And it says a lot about the Thunder organization, the way they put this team together.
And it's amazing. And right now, we're focusing on KD, and rightfully so, because he has had such a tremendous scoring streak. But on the sidelines, kind of not on the sidelines, but just subsequent to that, is Serge Ibaka is starting to really become a polished player that's an excellent shooter.
Yeah, I mean, to me, the thing with the future of this team is not bringing somebody in, keeping everybody. Now, you can get rid of Perkins and you maybe Cephalosha, but you got to keep Reggie Jackson, Lamb, Adams, and nonetheless, and the stars, obviously.
And the thing about that is that they're going to have to pay Reggie, and that's going to be, they're going to have to keep that in mind too, because Reggie's not a free agent this year. He's in his signing year next year. But Talbot, even if they let him go, it's a $3 or $4 million hit. I mean, they may not, or they may keep him, but they re-sign him at the same level for 3 years. That's still a good nucleus that they keep.
No doubt. I mean, and like I said, they got a good bench. They got really good young players. And it appears, and again, all the national people had said, well, trading Harden, first of all, Harden demanded to be traded when he wouldn't sign. But you get Adams and Lamb, that's pretty good for the money they're going to be paying for those two guys compared to what Harden's making.
That's right. It's a fraction of what Harden's doing. That way you can go out and get somebody to maybe replace Perkins or somebody if Cephalosha goes free agent. But Tabo's been playing well.
He's been playing well. He stepped up also. He was not playing well, and then recently he's played very, very well. So, and the chemistry on this team is so good. And I haven't heard one person say, man, Scott Brooks can really coach.
I know. And that's amazing because after all of this, Scott Brooks is not getting much publicity for how good he's handled, the locker room, the minutes, the bench. How do you withstand a very tight schedule without Westbrook? All those things. Scott Brooks is not getting credit.
And I always, when they lose, I hear people criticize, well, Scott Brooks. When they win, I never hear anybody say, well, Scott Brooks did a hell of a job there.
Yeah, that's a great coaching job on Scott Brooks' part.
Yeah, he's done a good job with the egos, the chemistry, and everything else, the intangibles.
Yeah, nobody ever says, wow, what a great way to balance, the minutes, by Scott Brooks tonight, I mean, and just think what would have happened if they would have gotten beat in Boston.
Well, and with this coaching staff, the improvement that Ibaka, Durant, Westbrook, it goes on and on. Reggie Jackson, it goes on and on and on. The improvement some of these players have played.
They've played well. They continue to get better. And I can't wait to see what happens when Westbrook comes back. And we'll talk about that in a minute. But first, let me talk to you about Dr. Wolf and his associates at Urgent Eye Care with Dr. Thomas Wolf. They feature same-day service regardless of whether it's your eyes need glasses or contacts. They take care of your eye needs. They can have it in and out in one day. That's Dr. Thomas Wolf and Associates. They have 4 locations in the metro area: Edmond, South Oklahoma City, Midwest City, and Mustang. If you need eye care, comprehensive urgent eye care with over 15 years experience, and Dr. Thomas Wolf. We'll be right back with more on Thunder Weekly after this. And welcome back to Thunder Weekly from Louie on Walker in Midtown. Rick, Heath, Al Eschbach with you. As you can tell, it's a lively place for before or after Thunder games or any other sporting event, college, pro, whatever, NBA. Come to Walker, Louie on Walker, if I can say that easily. Anyway, it's a great place here in Midtown. Al, they got great beer specials. One of our favorite things to come in and have a beverage or two. And here at Louie, always
good food and watch a great sporting event.
Yeah, it's always fun here at Louie. Al, let's talk a little bit about the rest of the lineup. I mean, we talked about KD and Westbrook being sitting out. Reggie Jackson. Reggie Jackson was kind of lost when they first put him in that starting lineup as opposed to coming off the bench. But in the last 7 games, he has been a good starting guard.
Oh, yeah. He can go to the basket, make things happen, and he's so athletic. And look at the improvement that he's made in his 2 years in the league.
Well, just think what happens when he starts getting respect from the officials and starts getting to the line. He's an 89 to 90% free throw shooter. I mean, he's another one of those guys that's going to make the Thunder, they're number 2 right now in free throw percentage. Very easily, when he and Westbrook get back, they could be number 1.
Yeah, they're, and that means so much, obviously, in close games.
Yeah, and in the playoffs, I mean, it's unbelievable, So Reggie Jackson is really, he's taken the challenge on to be a starting guard, and that's why I think he needs to be re-signed. Now, he may not want to re-sign because he may want to be a starter somewhere.
Well, you'd hope you want to play for a championship. And he's not going to get maximum money. I mean, he's probably a $6 or $7 million a year guy.
To me, that's well worth it. Have your bench in good hands.
Absolutely.
And with Westbrook, let's be honest, with Westbrook's health problems, you gotta have Reggie Jackson signed.
Oh yeah, you got to have somebody like that.
Because that way it's a seamless. If something happens to Russell,
and I said he's getting better and better and better.
And we talked about Serge Ibaka. He's playing so well. Not only and he's known as a blocker. He's led the NBA in blocking. And he's been an all defensive player, but now we've seen the polish and the hard work he's put in on his offensive game.
Yeah, and his mid-range jumper it's so good.
And it's so smooth.
Yeah,
I mean, he is as good a mid-range jumper and big man as I've seen.
Look how much he's improved his game from coming into the league.
And he's going to continue to improve because he's just getting older. He hadn't even hit his prime yet, I mean, he and Durant and Westbrook are all going to be priming out at, they're 3 years
Getting
away.
Better. Yeah.
They're 3 years away.
And then you got the younger guys, Jackson, Lamb, and Adams.
Yeah, and those guys, and we haven't even talked about them, and Jeremy Lamb, a prime example against Boston. He came in, they didn't have KD, they didn't have Westbrook. Jeremy Lamb said, hey, I can handle this. And he went out and showed some leadership quality, scored well, got Ibaka involved. I mean, it was an all-around game for Jeremy Lamb.
I like his game a lot, and you see him improving. And this bench, when Westbrook comes back, it probably the best bench in the league.
Well, I mean, you take Nick Collison for granted. All he does is do everything to win.
You're right.
Whether it's a rebound, whether it's falling on the ball, whether it's a foul or a smart play, he always does that.
How about Derek Fisher? Man, what a great addition that was. He doing all. I mean, they put him in the game when they need big shots, and then late games he puts them on, their best offensive player, guard, and everything. And you talk to the players, Derek Fisher, the intangibles he brings to this team.
Well, and I have to admit, I've been critical of Fisher in the past because he hasn't been able to do a lot 2 years ago and then just a little bit last year. But this year, in his last year, he has been remarkable for what he's been able to accomplish.
Yeah.
Defensively, offensively, leadership.
Yeah.
I mean, it's 39 years old now.
Means so much, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, he just knows how to play and does it. And Perry Jones, even in limited minutes, has been doing okay.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, their draft choices, for the most part, Aldridge was a terrible draft pick. For the most part, the drafting of Presti's been unbelievable.
Well, Steven Adams makes up for Aldridge being bad.
No, you're right.
He's a lot better than we thought.
No doubt about that.
So I mean,
that anybody thought.
Yeah, you miss every once in a while, like on Aldridge. But golly, when you hit on Adams, that nobody saw on the 12th pick, and you got Jeremy Lamb in a trade.
Well, and Reggie Jackson was a late first-round pick.
Yeah, and so those guys.
Home runs, Ibaka.
Well, yeah, and Perry Jones was 28, 28th pick in the first round. So they have done well, and this has been a remarkable run for the Thunder since Westbrook went out. As you said, we all thought, can they just survive?
I know.
And they have thrived.
Now you're thinking, can they get the best record in the NBA? Not just the West. Can they get the best overall record in the NBA?
How absurd would that be thought of before Westbrook went out? And now it's a real possibility.
Absolutely it is.
It's a real possibility. So, hey, let me tell you about Sun and Ski. All this cold weather you've had outside, before you go outside, go to Sun and Ski. Sun and Ski Sports has great winter weather. Names like North Face, Patagonia, Mountain Hardware, and UGG boots, Boggs, and Keens. So before you go outside, go get the warm weather gear at Sun and Ski Sports. 3 locations in Oklahoma, 10109 North May in Oklahoma City, Sooner Mall in Norman, and next to the Tulsa Mall in Tulsa. We'll be right back with more from Rick Heath and Al Eschbach from Midtown Louie right after this short timeout. And welcome back to the final segment of Thunder Weekly. Heath, Al Eschbach from Louie on Walker in the Midtown area. Great place to come. They have introducing new flatbread sandwiches. Blackened chicken Caesar sandwich, chicken Florentine, roast beef with horseradish mayo, or chicken salad. Plus, PBRs in a shot for only $5. $3 shot list and $2.50 beer specials while it lasts every day here at Louie Midtown in Oklahoma City on Walker. Also want to thank some wonderful sponsors. The Trails Golf Club in Norman, the Trails Golf Club, even though it's cold right now, it'll be spring soon, and you need a place to play. Call the Trails Golf Club for membership specials. Call Kathy Hess, 364-3790, the Trails Golf Club, and get ready for the spring of 2014. Also, Sam's Optical with locations in Edmond and on South Walker at I-240. If you need expert advice on eyewear, go to Sam's Optical. Sam's has the latest in fashion eyewear for the ladies, plus for the guys they have Oakleys, Ray-Bans, and Carrera sport frames. Sam's is a friendly, fun showroom that you will tell your friends about. For the best eyewear, go to Sam's Optical. Also, if you want to get in the best shape of your life, go to Coda CrossFit. They have 2 locations, one in Oklahoma City, one in Norman. Highly trained and knowledgeable staff, friendly community of people to train with at Coda CrossFit. And Rain Guard. Rain Guard is home of the gutter helmet. They also have 30 years experience in gutter systems. So if you need the most expert advice, Rain Guard is where you go. Home of the gutter helmet, 4 locations in the metro. Call Rain Guard and they'll take care of your gutter needs today. Now let's talk a little bit about the rest of the league. And we've talked about everybody else, but one of the things I was looking up before the show was the top rated teams. You know who they got number 1?
Well, it had to be the Oklahoma City or Indiana.
The Thunder. The Thunder without Russell Westbrook.
Yeah, pretty impressive.
That's impressive.
That's really impressive.
They're rated number 1, and they said nobody's close right now. They're scoring more points in the back-to-back than anybody in NBA history on back-to-backs.
The bad thing about the whole thing is going to be when Russ comes back, they lose a game, fans are going to go, I told you we were better without him.
Those guys better check their pulse because they're dead if they think that they're better without Russell Westbrook. You know, and I heard somebody the other day say, see how good KD can be without Russell, without him taking his shots? You know, because they're saying Westbrook takes too many shots and all that. And I'm going, guys, just imagine how good the Thunder will be when Westbrook comes
Absolutely.
back. Because, I mean,
yeah.
Hey, KD won't have to work as hard. Russell will still get his 20 points. Jackson will get 15 or so off the bench. Everybody's going to be doing well, and they won't have to work as hard.
Well, and they'll be better in transition also, obviously.
Yeah, you know, because there's nobody can go from one end to the other like Westbrook can. Anyway, number 2, Indiana. I mean, which is understood. I mean, the Pacers are a good team. I really like the Pacer team because they don't have any superstars. I mean, even though Paul George is a superstar, he doesn't really act it as much. You know, and they don't even have Danny Granger back, but they got Hibbert, and you know, and Stevenson is becoming
pretty good player.
Premier two-guard.
Absolutely.
I mean, he's strong, he's big, and he's learning how to play in this league.
I like him a lot.
I do too. And number 3, Miami. Miami's back after beating the Spurs. They got a little burst there.
The key thing is going to be Dwayne Wade's health.
Golly.
It's the whole thing.
You know, and if Dwayne Wade's knee doesn't get better and they continue to you know, have him play limited minutes, they're okay, but they're not the same team.
No, and I can't see them going in and beating Indiana without a healthy Dwayne Wade. Of course, the Pacers are going to have the home court advantage.
Yeah, you know, and Wade, as good as he's been, he hasn't you know, been able to do it healthy.
And you got to be worried. You got to keep on sitting him out, and they sit him out like the second or third game of the season.
You know what? I had a horrible thought the other day. I was going, please don't let Russell Westbrook be like Dwayne Wade.
No.
You know, with that chronic knee.
Well, I think that's probably why they're holding Westbrook out longer than probably they should.
And that is the beauty of this winning streak, is that now there's no pressure on Russell coming back anytime soon. There's no pressure on the standings. There's no pressure on anything. He can get well, and they can bring him back because they're playing so
absolutely
cohesive now.
You want to get him back to wait to the All-Star break.
Yeah, just let him rest, make sure he's okay, and then take it easy. And then watch his minutes until the playoffs.
Yeah, I don't know about that. Watch his minutes.
Well, Russ is not going to go for that. He's going, I'm full-fledged.
Yeah,
I'm in this one.
And this isn't minor injury. This isn't no ACL or anything like that. So
anyway, the rest of Miami and the Clippers, they're winning without Chris Paul.
You're right.
CP3 is on the bench,
and they're
still winning.
And you know what? It says a bunch about Blake Griffin.
Yes, he has risen above what he's done so far. And then we've got the Spurs, but they've lost 9 out of 10 to all the top teams.
Where do they got Portland?
Yeah, Portland's number 7. See, they got Golden State, then Portland. Now, Portland,
how do you have Golden State ahead of Portland?
That's what I understand, but that's what CBS has got because I guess the
maybe they'll figure give Portland some good credit.
They ought to. And then the Suns. Who thought the Suns would have been there?
Yeah, I'm not buying that either.
The Suns are setting in the West.
Yeah, and without Eric Bledsoe, that hurts them.
And then look here, the Nets. Look out, the old boys are still playing.
I tell you, team, nobody wants to play in either Portland, Oklahoma City, or San Antonio. The first round of playoffs is Memphis.
That's right, Memphis with the Gasol back and that trade of Courtney Lee. It's a heck of a deal for Courtney Lee.
They're playing really well right now.
Hey, we are at Midtown Louie. Come before or after Thunder games. That's going to do it for the Thunder Weekly. Rick Heath, Al Eschbach. We are at Midtown Louie. Come see us sometime.
Time to go. And they wanted to wait for the final shot. Here's a double team by the Hawks. Durant pulling up. Scoring! With 1.5 seconds left. He's done it again! Falling a praise from Mark Jackson. Mama, there goes that man.